Hey there, Cam here from Training Talk. Welcome to this week's episode of Endurance Coaching Business. Today I'm coming to you from the back of my camper van. I thought it'd be a good place to get away from the desk and record an episode. Hopefully head off surfing tomorrow. That's my surfboard above my head there, and I've moved this comfy lounge chair into the back of my van just because I'm taking it to bits at the moment, so there's no benches or anything in here. So this is actually more comfortable than usual. So I might do a few more episodes out here, just a bit of a break away from where I normally sit. Yeah, so a couple of releases that just went out recently. Ability to send planned structured workouts to both Koros and Sunto. So that means that we support all of the devices we support for connections, except Polar, who don't currently offer the ability to accept structured workouts. So as soon as they do, we'll do that. So now all of your athletes can send their workouts to Garmin, Wahoo, Sunto, Koros, and also we have Zwift in beta mode. Just getting that finalized and reviewed by Zwift themselves, but we can get that connected because they're cool that a small subset of coaches have their athletes using it. So if you want your athletes to be able to send their Zwift workouts, their structured cycling workouts to Zwift, let me know and I'll send you the link so you can share that with them so they can connect their Zwift account, and that'll also sync up to their completed Zwift workouts as well. So anyway, back on to today's topic. Last week I talked about sales and comparing that to getting punched in the face. So I hope you enjoyed that, or didn't enjoy it, but found it valuable at least. Today, I'm going to move back onto the topic of AI. I know you're probably sick of it, but I think it's very important because AI is part of most of our workflows now. And if it's not now, it will be shortly. So this topic's about what your AI assistant, in terms of your coaching business, what it actually should do for you, and what the current AI tools out there specifically built for coaches do now, what they might do in the future, and what you should look out for in terms of what you want AI to do for you in your coaching business. So let's jump into it. So AI is everywhere right now, including in endurance coaching business. All of our feeds are full of AI. I sort of jumped back into social. I tried not to spend too much time on social media, but I jumped back in because I want to buy something. So I was on Facebook Marketplace. And man, I was getting so many AI generated videos in my feed, and they're not very good yet, but it's just a sign that sort of AI is all over the place. Not always good, sometimes good. So it's all about what we use it for. That's the most important thing. So there's heaps of promising tools out there, specifically for endurance coaches, but they all make a few more promises than they really deliver. And a lot of them say that they'll level up your coaching, but then go off and try and sell their AI tools directly to your athletes or just athletes in general. And most of them point to the same sort of shiny features like auto analysis, dynamic workout prescription, and dashboards full of different colors and indicators, etc. So, I mean, it's all really impressive, but it raises a real question specifically for coaches, not so much for athletes, but what should an AI assistant coach actually do for you as a coach? Let's just briefly talk about what these tools offer today. So I've grouped it into like 3 areas. Automatic analysis, where they crunch the watts, heart rate spikes, pace splits, and then they output like the insights about fatigue, form, and fitness. So similar to the charts that we had before AI. Next thing, auto-prescribed workouts. So they take all of that analysis and then they decide maybe on the fly to change a program because an athlete might be capable of doing more, or maybe they look tired, so they'll make an easy workout or give them a rest day, etc., and do that dynamically. Predictive performance models. So charts, forecasting, maybe race day potential or optimal load, fancy graphs that look scientific enough to end the conversation about what the athlete should or shouldn't do. They are very, AIs a non-deterministic technology, but the way the platforms sell the AI is that it is the answer to things when it's not necessarily. Anyway, these things do help in small doses, but they also create like a problem for coaches to think about the future for, and that is what AI replaces coaches versus what supports them. So this is what really matters in terms of from a coach's perspective, is that some AI has all of the features that, let's not say it tries to replace coaching, but it's trying to create all of the features that, if they deliver on their promises, could easily replace a coach. I'm not saying that they will deliver on their promises, but if they do, then they will deliver on that. And then from a different perspective is AI that tries to support coaches in what they already do or what they wish they had time to do but don't do because they just can't fit it in for what they're charging their athletes for. So most of what's out there at the moment leans towards that replacement side of things. And that's even if the marketing says the opposite. So all of these platforms say that they support coaches, but if you can see that they're also selling these AI tools directly to athletes, then there's always going to be that tug of a conflict of interest. Like, are they supporting coaches, but at the same time, are they trying to sell coaching directly to athletes with their AI? So it's not their fault if they sell to athletes. That's just, they have to do that because they were doing that anyway. But now they've got a lot more tools around coaching that can be automated. So they're going to be more likely to try and sell to athletes, of course, because there's a lot more athletes out there. Anyway, I've talked about that a lot before. So replacement. So what to look out for. So replacement style A might look something like this. So here's a full training plan. We'll adapt it to the athlete on the fly. Or here's automated analysis, and they show that directly to the athlete. Here's the answer to your problem, or here's the answer. This is exactly what you should do next. You don't need to discuss that with your coach. So this sort of thing, it takes the thinking away, and that is attractive to athletes, partly because, they're busy, they have their own job, they're not thinking about their training all day, and partly because they don't understand all of the data and they don't really know what decisions to make. So if the AI can tell them what to do, then it takes away that decision making for themselves, and then they can just go along with it. So this is all very subtle to begin with, but I can see it coming that eventually the coach ends up as a bit of an optional bolt-on, as a premium, as opposed to being the core of an athlete's endurance coaching. And then on the flip side of the coin, so what does support style AI look like? So it clears the grunt work for coaches, so coaches can go and do the real coaching. So it looks like more traditional business related software where it injects AI where it helps coaches do things faster that they might normally do manually, or maybe find insights that they wouldn't be able to pull out of the data just from the naked eye. So what's that thing? So that's things like spotting, pumping in a whole bunch of data and spotting patterns that you might want to explore further as a coach with your expertise. Summarizing athlete notes. You'll know that some of your athletes put pages and pages of notes about one workout where it's probably a lot of waffle and you really just need that summarized, and AI could easily do that for you. That's something that it's really good at. Drafting messages automatically that then you can customize and edit, saves a bit of time. If the AI can learn about your language and how you reply to messages, it can easily write almost exactly what you want, or at least put it into a format. We've already got some tools like that in Training Talk where you can give it a lot of examples of the replies you want and describe the structure, and it can create that structure for you as a reply, and then you just tweak it or customize it to make sure it comes from you, and we never automatically send it or anything. It's always you. It always needs to be reviewed by you or binned by you, and then you can just write from scratch if you don't like what you see for that specific situation. Anyway, next thing is building a starting point for a plan that you can then customize. So for example, our workout builder, you can just type into it the description of the intervals and the sets and reps that you want, and maybe a structured running workout, instead of having to drag and drop and create all of the intervals manually. And then the AI is really good at coming up with that structure, say like a warm-up, steady state, set of 6 intervals, and then a warm down, and then you can just tweak the intensities, etc., to make sure it's exactly what you wanted. But that'll save you a lot of time as well. Handling scheduling puzzles. So maybe a future feature around this would be analyzing the athlete's availability and then just moving your prescribed workouts around automatically to fit that structure. Or for example, the athlete changes their availability for a week and you've already planned it, a button that just says, reschedule based on availability, and then just smartly moves those workouts around instead of you having to go, okay, so now he's changed where he can do his run today, so I'll put that here and then do day by day, etc. Just a little one-click wonder that will be able to do that. Again, something very simple that AI is really good at to save you a bit of time. This is the big one, next one, surfacing the key moments you want to dive into. So, really saving you having to go through the data like with a fine-tooth comb, which you probably wouldn't do anyway because you're busy, and pulling out things that you might want to dive into that are actually worth diving into. And all of these things give you a lot more time to actually think by supporting your judgment instead of completely replacing it. And this is where the AI, I think, will shine, and this is where I hope to take Training Talk in the near future. Not as a replacement for a coach, but like a second brain or a digital twin for a coach, just to help them double their capacity, help them do all the things that they do already. Anyway, so why do I think that this distinction matters? Figuring out these AI tools that are like on the replacement side versus on the supporting side. Well, coaching isn't like just sets and reps, runs and bikes. It's really understanding the person in front of you, their history, their stress, their habits, their confidence, their fears, their excuses, and their potential. So AI can point out a spike in a heart rate, but it can't tell you that your athlete got into a fight with their partner yesterday or had a rough week at work or is buzzing after nailing a big session. It can't read tone if the athlete doesn't know what information to give it, then it can't read the tone or the information itself. If they aren't having a real conversation, it can't build trust. It can't replace a really good relationship. So when platforms lean into the replacement style features, coaches will end up competing with their own tools for business even more than they already do. So, for example, with platforms like Training Peaks or TriDot, where they sell plans to coaches, but they also sell plans directly to athletes, that will become more and more of a conflict of interest as these platforms can develop tools that begin to do more of the coaching job. And at any point, they could flip the switch and just say, actually, it doesn't really make sense to support coaches anymore because we can take that job over. And a lot of them are already moving in that direction anyway. So if the platform prescribes the plan, it's easy and can dynamically update it. It's easy for an athlete to wonder to themselves, what are they paying the coach for? Now, they might not be correct, and I don't think they would be correct to think that, but they don't have the knowledge that a coach has to know whether or not the AI is giving them the things that they actually need to improve. So coaches can tell the difference between a mediocre plan and a good one, but most athletes can't until it's too late, of course, and they don't get the results they want. So why do most of the other platforms build replacement AI features? Well, it's not because they want to get rid of coaches or anything. It's because they already have this business model in place where they sell directly to athletes. Like Training Peaks sells a premium athlete account to an athlete. They don't need a coach to have that account. They can just continue to build their own training. And Training Peaks doesn't have any AI on their platform at the moment, but I'm sure they're working on it. So it's not because they, at any point, they're going, oh, I want to screw coaches over. Let's just sell to athletes. It's just that all of these tools enable these platforms to do a better job of automating the coaching process with the coach out of the loop. So investors love AI, athletes love a quick fix, even if they don't understand what's actually happening. Platform loves recurring revenue from both sides of the market. So if they can sell to both sides and it becomes easier to deliver services to the athlete side, then that's what will happen. So this all chips away at the value of coaching, and it puts coaches in a weaker position long term. And to be honest, I think they were doing that before AI, but now it's just going to be on overdrive. So what I think coaches actually need from AI is they don't need like a robot second guessing their decisions. They should be making all of the decisions still, but they need something that keeps them in the driver's seat. So a good AI assistant coach should speed up admin, organize information, surface meaningful patterns, help with communication, reduce copy and paste work, and create good starting points for planning and analysis, not final answers. And it should help coaches think, not think for them. So the goal isn't to automate away the judgment. The goal is to clear the noise so coaches can spend more time on judgment, making decisions, and talking with their athletes. So that's the part athletes should pay for. And if you can deliver on that, then they will continue to see the value as well. So here at Training Tool, to be honest, we've been behind on the AI side of things. But we have started to introduce a bunch of focused AI tools, and we'll continue to do so. And we're lucky that we don't sell anything directly to athletes anyway, so we don't have that temptation to build these coach replacement type features in. So by default, all of the features that we build will be on the coach supportive side. Not because we care about coaches more than the other platforms do, but just because our business model means that coaches are always at the center of everything that we build. Anyway, no need to panic. Things will play out how they'll play out. But as a coach, you just need to be thinking about these things to make sure that one, you're using the right platform that meets your goals. Two, that you know what's happening, keep up to date, so you can keep evolving your coaching business to get your athletes the best results. So that's it for today. And let me know if you have any feedback. I'd love to hear about what how you're currently thinking about AI in your coaching business and what you think of some of the stuff that I said. If you agree or disagree or have a different opinion, I would love to hear it. All right, talk to you soon.